Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's presentation. I'm excited to share with you a fascinating topic. The slide you see now is titled, 99% of women become addicted to men like this. In this session, we'll explore what makes certain men incredibly attractive and why so many women find themselves drawn in. We'll discuss the psychology behind attraction and how understanding this can help us build healthier relationships. So, let's dive right in and uncover these insights together. Let's talk about the psychology of magnetic attraction. Addiction is a strong word, but when we discuss female attraction, it really captures something very real. Certain men don't just attract women, they create a psychological and emotional pull that women find incredibly hard to let go of. And I want to emphasize that this isn't about manipulation or superficial charm. It's about embodying qualities that make a man unforgettable, magnetic, and deeply desirable, both consciously and subconsciously. What we're really exploring here is why women become addicted to men like this, and how these traits are connected to emotional intelligence, masculine presence, and self-mastery. Understanding this will help us see how genuine confidence and emotional depth can create that irresistible pull. So, as we go through this, keep in mind that this is about authentic qualities that foster real connection and attraction. Let's talk about emotional independence, which is really about a man who doesn't need validation, but chooses to be emotionally free. One of the most powerful triggers of attraction is non-neediness. When a man is genuinely content with himself, not desperately chasing approval or validation, he radiates a sense of security. Women are naturally drawn to this because he's not clinging or needy, which makes his attention feel scarce and valuable. Now, why does this approach work so well? Well, scarcity naturally drives desire. When a man is complete within himself, it signals that his presence is a gift, not a plea for attention. It's about confidence and self-sufficiency, which are incredibly attractive qualities. And what do women feel in this dynamic? They sense emotional freedom, no burden of insecurities or neediness. This creates a space for authentic intimacy to develop because she's not overwhelmed by neediness, but instead feels comfortable and respected. So, in essence, emotional independence isn't just about being self-sufficient. It's about creating a vibe where desire is naturally cultivated and genuine connections can flourish. So let's talk about emotional maturity, specifically, the man who has faced his demons. This is someone who has wrestled with his inner wounds, past heartbreaks, and personal failures. And what's key here is that he doesn't project these struggles onto others. Instead, he creates a safe emotional space for himself and for those around him. When a man is grounded, resilient, and steady like this, it naturally attracts women. Why does this work so well? Well, women tend to subconsciously scan for stability. If he's already dealt with his past issues, he won't use her as a rebound or an emotional bandage, and she won't see him as a savior either. What women feel around a man like this is a deep sense of security and trust. They relax, they can let their guard down, and this allows the connection to grow much more naturally and deeply. So, in the context of building meaningful relationships, emotional maturity isn't just a nice-to-have. It's a fundamental pillar that helps foster genuine, lasting connection. Let's talk about vulnerability with boundaries, sometimes called the man who lets his guard down selectively. This is a powerful concept because it highlights the strength in emotional openness. When a man can be vulnerable without feeling like he's losing his footing, that's a real sign of confidence. It's about knowing when to share, how to communicate honestly, and when to stand his ground. Now, why does this approach work so well? Well, vulnerability alone can sometimes seem like dependence, like he's emotionally exposed without any protection. On the other hand, strength without vulnerability can come across as cold or unapproachable, almost like stone. But when you combine the two, being open yet grounded, you create a sense of intimacy that still commands respect. And what women truly feel from this? They see a man who's both human and strong. It's this rare combination that feels incredibly attractive, like he's genuine but also capable. That balance makes all the difference in forming deep, meaningful connections. So, in the context of our overall theme, It's about mastering this balance to build trust and attraction without sacrificing respect. Let's talk about adaptability and growth in love. Rigid men who refuse to adapt can become stale, stuck in their ways, and that can really dampen the connection. On the other hand, controlling men tend to suffocate the relationship, making it hard for both partners to breathe and grow. But the men who truly thrive are those who see a relationship as a space for growth, for compromise, and for shared transformation. When love is viewed as a journey, it becomes something dynamic and exciting. Why does this approach work? Because growth is essentially life itself. A man who can adapt without losing who he is, who can evolve alongside his partner, makes her feel that she will become more just by being with him. And what do women feel in these relationships? They sense that they are part of something alive, something that's constantly changing and meaningful. It's this sense of ongoing evolution that keeps love vibrant and fulfilling for both. Today, I want to talk about what I call non-controlling energy, or, simply put, the man who respects freedom. One of the most addictive qualities in a man is when he doesn't try to control his partner. He doesn't chain her down, micromanage every move, or treat her like a possession. Instead, he encourages her independence and freedom, while still maintaining his own sense of self. Why does this approach work so well? Because respect naturally creates desire. When a woman feels trusted, she tends to invest more deeply in the relationship. And here's what women really feel when they're respected in this way. They feel that their individuality is truly honored, not suppressed. This kind of mutual respect makes the bond stronger and more genuine. So, in the bigger picture, respecting freedom isn't just about kindness. It's a powerful way to deepen connection and trust. Let's talk about the idea of having no savior complex. Many men enter relationships with the intention of rescuing or fixing a woman. At first glance, that might seem noble or caring. But in reality, it often creates an imbalance, like a parent-child dynamic rather than a true partnership. What really works is when attraction is based on equality. When a man doesn't see himself as a hero on a rescue mission, love can develop naturally and healthily. Without the hidden contracts of control or dependency, the relationship becomes more authentic. And from the woman's perspective, what she really wants to feel is that she's wanted as she is, not as a broken puzzle that needs fixing. When we approach relationships this way, it fosters genuine connection and mutual respect. Now, let's talk about presence, and I mean the presence of the man who actually sees her. This is perhaps the most powerful quality of all. When a man listens deeply, makes eye contact, and engages fully in the moment, he creates something truly special. What he's giving her is undivided attention, a rare and valuable thing in today's world. And that's what makes it so impactful. Presence is the rarest currency out there. Because when a man offers his presence, he becomes unforgettable. And for women, what they feel in that moment is profound. They feel desired, understood, and emotionally fed, an experience that's truly intoxicating. This feeling can foster a lasting attachment, which is so important in building meaningful connections. So, in the grand scheme of things, being truly present is not just about good manners. It's about creating a genuine, unforgettable bond. Women don't become addicted to surface-level charm or material wealth. What truly draws them in is the feeling they get from a man, being safe yet excited, respected yet desired, free yet deeply connected. It's this emotional experience that creates that sense of addiction, not superficial tricks. The men who naturally embody these qualities aren't out chasing women or trying to impress. They're living in a way that radiates authenticity and confidence, qualities that effortlessly attract women. This isn't about quick tricks or manipulations. It's about self-mastery, emotional intelligence, and being a man who is whole within himself. When a man reaches that state, when he's grounded, present, and truly free, he doesn't just attract women. He creates a magnetic presence that makes it almost impossible for women to forget him. That's the real power of becoming a complete, authentic man.